So it's making the rounds on social media, but I think because everybody is talking about it, we have to talk about it here on the channel as well. And I have no doubt that you've probably seen this interview already, so I will leave a link in the description to Spittin' Chicklets, the Barstool Sports program, because what they did on the show recently was they grabbed the hottest free agent on the market, formerly at least, Johnny Gaudreau, and they allowed him to guest star on their show. They talked about the entire free agent process, Calgary, and the departure from the team, and what other scenarios presented themselves during this off-season period. And I like how it was actually summed up here on this Reddit comment on the same video on Reddit. Darn, dude, the knife is already in there. You don't have to punch it in. I feel like there's a lot of twisting of the knife going on in here for Johnny Gaudreau, not just to Calgary, but to New Jersey as well. Because not only did Johnny Gaudreau, the second highest point producer in the NHL last season with 15 points? I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. He's a great player. That's all you pretty much need to know about that. He signed a 7-year contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets, taking a lower salary than he would have had he signed with the Calgary Flames for 8 years. He left potentially $17 million on the table, ultimately ending up in probably the craziest free agent destination that you could have expected here. Like, I don't think they do betting odds for free agent destinations here, but based off of the speculation, all of the rumors, Johnny Gaudreau is from Salem, New Jersey, which is pretty much a Philadelphia suburb, but of course it's in New Jersey State, so he grew up a Flyers fan, but he's technically home to the Devils, and so this guy wanting to go quote-unquote home made it seem that these teams would be the front runners, and we had the Islanders thrown in there as well because they're in the New York area too. And so if you took a look at what would have been, let's say, the projected odds, quote-unquote, these teams would have had the plus 100, plus 200, 250-ish kind of odds, and Columbus was absolutely nowhere to be seen. You probably could have seen them in the plus 30,000 range, because nobody thought that Columbus would be that team. Eventually, though, we had ourselves on day one of free agency news from Bob McKenzie saying, hey, keep an eye out for Columbus. They might be a team that is interesting here. And as we know, that is ultimately the team he decided to go to. Now, a lot of people, myself included, were like, what the hell? I mean, look, he wanted to go home. Columbus is an 8-hour drive away from home. But then there were some other arguments saying, okay, I mean, he'll be playing in the metro area, he'll be playing in New Jersey and Philadelphia, in both the New York arenas, and so there might be a lot more connection that he has in this area. Being in Columbus, that's a lot stronger than had he stayed in Calgary, even if he took over a $17 million raise, pretty much, by staying with the Flames. You also had this angle. Here's a tweet from Cody Magnuson. Gaudreau's wife is a children's hospital nurse. Columbus has one of the best children's hospitals in the country. It's named Nationwide's Children's Hospital after a $50 million gift from Nationwide Insurance, who also owns the Blue Jackets Arena. Maybe they both got new jobs. Now, that's not confirmed, it's just speculation, but it's an idea that makes it a lot more easy to stomach, I think, when you're trying to digest, okay, why the heck would Johnny Gaudreau go to Columbus? Firstly, you could debate that other teams that were involved in the conversation had better pools of talent. I don't know about you, but I'd like to play alongside of Jack Hughes and Alexander Holtz rather than Patrick Laine and whoever else you have over there in Columbus. I know Kent Johnson is going to be really good, Cole Sillinger is going to be really good too, but still, when it comes to the on-ice talent today, you could debate that New Jersey, which is his hometown team, has more to offer. However, from the recent Spittin' Chicklets interview, we had ourselves a few video clips. You know, it's a long podcast, so you can go ahead and listen to the entire thing if you want to. Link in the description once again. But the few limited clips that were posted have some very hard-hitting quotes that, I mean, as the Reddit commenter said, is kind of punching the knife in a little bit. Here's one quote from Gaudreau at the 4140 mark of the podcast. I was super thankful that Columbus called. I think I was trying to get a deal done with New Jersey, and then Columbus called, and I was like, hey, I want to go here. And you could see Paul Bissonnette's face on the video. He's just like, huh? Like, his mind is blown hearing that information right there. As it probably should be, because without context, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, okay, you want to go closer to home? Why the heck are you going to Columbus rather than going to New Jersey? And then, in another clip, Johnny Gaudreau kind of follows it up by saying that Columbus, while it's closer to home, it's not too close to home. He says in this clip right here that in the area that he grew up in, there's pretty much an open door policy. Like for his friends, for his family, anytime somebody wants to hang out and chill, they can just head over to Johnny's house, come in, and they can just be there and do their thing. And Johnny was pretty much saying that while he appreciates that that's the culture that has been cultivated in his world, the people that are in his life, Columbus is far enough away that he can go out there and just do his own thing with his wife. They have a kid coming along, so he wants to do the whole family thing, and maybe that immediate accessibility to his friends and his family isn't something that he directly wants every single day. Now, I'm trying to hyperbolize it to make it sound more rational, but that's kind of the argument that he had when explaining why Columbus was the team rather than New Jersey, whom he was already discussing to before Columbus came knocking on their door saying, hey, here's a contract. And, of course, it helps that he knows a lot of people on the team already, and Cam Atkinson, one of his best friends, was a Columbus Blue Jackets star, and so it really just feels like the stars aligned, and I don't really know, based off of everything that we had seen, like I know Bob McKenzie talked about it earlier on in the free agent show and everything, but like, was Columbus really all too confident that they were going to be able to do this? I mean, anybody can go out there and say, hey, Johnny Gaudreau, 9.5 by 7, you want to come here? But like, a part of me thinks maybe Columbus themselves weren't really all too enthusiastic about getting him in the first place. Maybe Columbus was like, yeah, I mean, okay, Johnny Gaudreau's a free agent. He'd be cool to have. Let's offer him a contract. And they just did it, and he said yes. Because with all things considered, I mean, if the Columbus Blue Jackets just did not do that, if they didn't come into the conversation at the last minute, Johnny Gaudreau probably would have been a Devil, and now you're talking about all the quotes of the guy after the signing was made. He's going on to radio interviews, he's doing press conferences in Columbus, he's getting accustomed to the culture in Columbus, Ohio, and its surrounding areas. Only in Cleveland, Johnny Gaudreau's here, shout, like, stuff like that, right? And he's coming in here saying all this stuff super openly and super publicly. It's almost like, here's a comment on Reddit that I thought was really interesting as well. Every quote from Johnny Gaudreau now is a meme. Everything is a meme, and now you're in a position where Johnny Gaudreau, after leaving Calgary, is not only going to get booed in one away arena. Obviously, we're talking about the Saddle Dome whenever the Blue Jackets play there. Oh boy, Johnny's going to hear it from the fans. But New Jersey, Philadelphia, maybe even the Islanders arena as well, anytime this guy plays a game in any of those cities, you're going to hear the boos raining from the rafters once he touches the puck and once he scores some points, because you know he's going to do that. He's a very talented player. And I really didn't expect anything like this. I mean, Johnny Gaudreau's definitely free to do whatever it is that he wants, but you usually have a projection of these things. Even with John Tavares, it was like, okay, yeah, he's going to go to Toronto. He's going to go to Toronto because he's from Toronto and he likes Toronto. He's going to project a contract higher than McDavid's playing with the San Jose Sharks because he wants to go to Toronto. For Panarin, it was like, yeah, he wants big money, he wants big spotlight, he wants big showtime. He's going to go to New York. It's going to happen like that. But for Johnny Gaudreau, I mean, it was Philly or New Jersey the entire time, man, and now you talk about Chuck Fletcher not moving out any money to get this guy into your city. At the same time, the thing that he said about not having an immediate open-door policy to the people around him in his regular living life, it makes sense to me. Yes, it's a reason that does present itself in rational thought, but like, does anybody else kind of feel like it's somewhat of a half-assed reason? Like, this reason doesn't really feel like the, oh, that's why he went to Columbus over New Jersey and Philadelphia. That's why. He really wanted to go to Columbus. You see the quote he had? He was super excited to get the offer from Columbus in the middle of negotiating with New Jersey, that he told his agent, hey, stop this. Let's go to Columbus. I want to go there. Like, the guy wants to start a family and everything. That's cool, but I don't know, maybe he also is just kind of weird. Talk to me in the comments, though, either way, all your thoughts about Johnny Gaudreau. Have they changed after hearing his thoughts in the interview over here? It's kind of interesting to me as well how at this point in time, it just feels like Calgary was completely out of it. Like, we had known from the day before free agency that he was going to free agent status, but there was always still some sort of level of hope that Flames fans, in my life at least, were kind of throwing out there, saying, hey, it's not done until it's done, until he's actually signed with New Jersey or Philadelphia. He is not gone 110% yet. We'll get there when we get there, and eventually we got there, just with a completely different team. So, talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about the Johnny Gaudreau situation and the interview he had in Spit and Chicklets. Also, video next up on the channel is going to be about Mateychuk. because, yeah, apparently that guy's gonna leave too, so sorry, Calgary. I feel really bad for the Flames fans right now. Haha, just kidding, I don't. I'm a Canucks fan. I hope you enjoyed this video, Trolls 99, and bye.